Hi, my name is Rebecca, and I've been doing online education with my children for 15 plus years. I wanted to talk today about homeschooling versus public school at home. And it is a very different modality in learning for sure. Many people, because of the new coronavirus, are finding themselves in a situation where their child that's used to this classroom learning environment is now switched to online or public schooling at home. And it is very different than homeschooling. Homeschooling, for instance, you get to choose the curriculum for yourself. You get to choose the flexibility that it might work with your family. A lot of times you end up being the primary teacher as well. Public school at home is much different in the fact that you have a teacher that you can work with. Because of that, you are then considered a learning coach. You're there to model, mentor, and make sure that they have the needs provided for them. When they do online schooling from their public school teacher, you have that resource of the teacher. And I would definitely use that for accountability with your students. And you, as a learning coach, try to keep that relationship because you have a mother, a father, a grandfather. A grandmother, whatever your role may be, you want to keep those relationships positive. There are a lot of advantages to doing online schooling, public school at home, versus the classroom learning. One is that when you're doing online learning, it's a very active type of learning. Sometimes when we sit in a classroom, that becomes very passive. We let a lot of other students answer questions. We let them, and many times I remember just sitting there and daydreaming or doing whatever. Sometimes when we're learning online, it becomes a very active situation. So the student has to be fully engaged. One of the awesome things about doing public school at home is that really there's no seat time. I've heard a number of my friends that are now finding themselves doing this type of schooling at home, frustrated that their teacher's expecting 7 hours a day. We do have to keep in mind that a lot of that time that they have at school is just basically classroom management or shuffling kids around. When you're doing online learning, there really is no seat time. They don't have to be in their chair for so long. We just have to get the work completed and the work done, and then your child can move on to the things they would like to be doing. And I definitely use that as a carrot as you're working with your children, that once they're done with this work that they need to do, that they have the time and the flexibility to move on to what they want to do. That's the next thing I want to talk about. When we do online learning, schooling at home, there's a lot more flexibility. Let your children work at trying to put together their own schedule of what works well for them. Definitely their accountability partner in that they're making sure we're getting these things done, but help them select goals that they want to choose to do after that is done, kind of that excitement of being able to finish that work and moving on to something else they want to do, because there's a lot of flexibility in it. It's very customized for the child. Try to keep it that way. Try to keep this education, if they have to write a paper, let them write the paper on a topic that they might enjoy, something that they want to be doing. It's very different. So we want to make it very customized instead of that cog learning that they might get. Use this to their advantage. Use this opportunity, this time to their advantage to make this an enjoyable thing for them to do versus trying to stick with what our teacher says sometimes, because like I said, teachers are more into classroom management. They're more into making sure kids are moved around and shuffled in a mannerly order. But we as parents that are doing this, we are now learning coaches. We're there to mentor and model that learning. So thank you.